Here we've got Desi Scott from the College of Health Solutions. She works there as an analytics and reporting associate. Prior to that, she worked in student accounts and the Experience Center. And she has both a Bachelor of Science and a Master's of Science in Business Analytics from WP Carey School of Business. So we got a true Sun Devil here presenting. If you like what you see, give her some props out on the Data Conference Slack channel as well. And without further ado, take it away, Desi.
Yeah, happy Friday, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about the year-to-year enrollment comparison. So this is just like a meme I found online just about data viz, since this presentation is about data visualization. So it says, I'll pause for a moment so you can let this information sink in. So yeah, I really hate like really complicated like dashboards that you can't really make any sense out of. So we're here to tackle, slay that dragon of the data viz. So on our agenda, we're going to be talking about the overview of the problem. So why did we create this dashboard at the College of Health Solutions? How that problem was tackled, and that'll just be just a brief demo of the dashboard. And then also I'll explain to you all how this dashboard is being used within our college. I have like where you can answer questions at the end, but you can also ask questions during the presentation if you want to ask about something that I'm showing. If you want to see something, just let me know. Okay, so an overview of the problem. So why was this dashboard created? So I'm going to show you guys this Excel worksheet that I have here. So this is just a report that's sent out on an email distribution list. And I believe it's sent out by the registrar's office. And this has like a lot of useful information for enrollment comparison. So, you see here how you have like the business, you have design of art, and you have the comparison from, and this is fall. So it's fall 2019 and fall 2020. So it shows you that information. And it just shows you the breakdown between that. So you have like their admit types, first year student, new transfer, continuing for the undergraduates. You also have like the graduate information, and you have a total.
Hey, Desi, real quick. We're still seeing your slides, not the Excel.
Oh, okay. Just one sec. Okay, can you guys see the slide now, the Excel sheet now?
Yep, that works. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna rewind. So within this Excel file, you just have the enrollment comparison. So from the prior fall term, 2019, and then current fall term 2020, and it just shows the information from the 21st day, so the census date for session C. And you just have all that information. So it shows, the total enrollment from 2019 and the total enrollment for 2020 as of the census date. And then it shows like the percent increase or decrease for it. So like how much did that enrollment change and things like that. So it shows that information for the undergraduates, and you have your admit types here on the side. So first year student, continuing, and then you have like your graduate students, so new, degree seeking, continuing graduates, and that sort of thing. And it has a lot of different tabs here for this information. And this is really, really useful information, and especially that each college can find very useful. So a lot of people within our department found this information useful, but it was just that it's a lot of information. So that was one problem. It was just a lot of information in an Excel workbook. And then the other problem was that the report was not accessible to a lot of people within our college that, would find that information helpful. And the other problem was that it didn't really help us if a lot of people within our department couldn't get access to this as being collective as a college when it came to the enrollment data. So we needed to figure out ways to summarize the information provided on this report. There's another report as well that we summarize. And this one, here. So this was our other report. Can you guys see this PDF?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this was another report that I created through Report Builder, and this was a really useful report as well. But it came with a lot of numbers, and it's not really anything that you could visualize besides through the conditional formatting. But this is like really useful through our college as well, and a lot of people love this, especially like our leadership team, in order to track the enrollment. But they wanted more ways to summarize all this information that's provided here. So, one second here. Okay, so now I'm going to go through how we tackled the problem. So we decided that, one sec, I'm like moving everything everywhere. Okay. So we decided that the dashboard would be great to summarize the information provided on the Excel report that I just showed you and the report builder report. So that way we could visualize that information. And this is our dashboard. Okay, we have to go here. So I knew this was going to do this.
Happens every time.
Okay, so this is the dashboard that we created to summarize that information that's provided in the Excel worksheet and also within the report builder, which is our enrollment progress report. So here we have, this is spring, but I'm going to switch it back to fall. So with our term comparison, we only have like active terms. So that's just if students are currently enrolled or if students are able to enroll. So they're like actively enrolling in a term. So we have the previous term, which would be fall 2019, and we have fall 2020 here. So we can basically just visualize how the enrollment looks. And this is just at the census date. And we have the breakdown right now showing through Ford Campus View. And for this, we only kept it as a Ford Campus View because it would just turned out to be a lot of information, or it just turned out to be not enough information. If we have different career campuses to view. So this just kind of gives us an overview of how our enrollment is doing. So we have here our grand total. So you can see that our enrollment was up a lot. And then you have our tooltip where we show just a graph of our admit type. And this is just for if someone within our college is viewing this and they just kind of just want like a quick overview of the information. And so we have, the first year student, new transfer, returning, continuing. And this is just including like just undergraduate right now. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like it. So yeah, it just gives them a way to just visualize more information, and it's showing the percent growth or the percent like decrease for the enrollment. So yeah. And then here we have our admit type. So this is information where you could show the breakdown for first year student, new transfer, new graduate, returning, continuing. So of course with first year student, that's just undergrad. And you could see just if enrollment is down, if it's up, and this is just like the number. So it's like, it's down 66, up 48. And also in our tooltip, we see a breakdown of our degree programs. And this is really helpful for those who want to know how their degree program is doing within the college. So you get to see the previous term, the current term, and then of course the percent difference. So it gives them an idea of how the degree program is doing when it comes to first year students. And that's just on campus students. So at the downtown campus, Tempe campus, Polytechnic, and West Campus. So, and then you have like Lake Havasu online, and then it just shows like the total of every first year student. And so you can go down there and do that. We also have a measure on this one where you could change, and also a campus view. So we have like a detailed campus view, so you can actually see the detailed campus breakdown. So downtown Tempe, West, Polytechnic, Lake Havasu, and you can see that information here as well. And then we also have an on-campus and online view. So yeah, and here with our measure, we can change it from seeing the enrollment change to the percent difference. So just say if you don't want to see the enrollment change or anything, you can also see the percent difference. So this just has like a whole number, but this would be the percent difference for each one. So, and then you can also, if you just want to just see undergrad, you can just see the undergrad information. If you just want to see grad, that type of information, just to kind of lessen what you're viewing here. So it gives people access to different information, and that way you're not overwhelmed by what's being shown on the screen. So I see there's a lot of chats, so but I don't know what everyone's saying. Are there any questions?
No questions. No, we're just throwing some compliments out there.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of like a more in-depth view. So this kind of more resembles the enrollment progress report, the report builder report I showed you all, and the Excel report. But we did add in some color, you know, to kind of just get everyone focused on, you know, if it's an increase or if it's a decrease. So of course, red would be a decrease, green would be a large increase, and then you have like kind of yellow and orange and maybe like a small decrease if it's orange, or like a small increase if it's yellow, and those sorts of things. I really like this view, just because of the color in it, and then just the information that it presents. So yeah, it can be a lot of information to some people, but it's really helpful information, and you know, you could just see the numbers as opposed to just seeing the graphs and things like that. So yeah, I think this view is really cool too, even though it's a lot of information. But here you can also see the breakdown for the degree programs if that's something that you're interested in, depending on the campus, or if it's undergrad or graduate and things like that. And then that's of course like the admit type.
Hey Desi, we have a request. Can you hit that term comparison and give it a change? I think we want to see what it looks like.
This one for spring?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, so this would be for spring. And right now we're like kind of like out for it, like 8 weeks until spring arrives. So yeah, this is how spring looks right now, which is very important right now for our college. So yeah, this is like something that's really important because you know, with the spring enrollment can be kind of crazy. So yeah. So yeah, you could review that information. And like I said, it's only active terms. So of course we don't have like previous term information here, just because we just wanted to limit it, the amount of information that's here. We didn't want to overwhelm people with too much, you know, so yeah. Okay. Okay, so that is that view. Okay. And then we also have a view for an academic program breakdown. And this is just a way so our degree coordinators or our program directors can see how their program may be doing. And we can also, this is like a new element here that's added. And so you can do an at least. So if I go back to 0, you'll see that there's like these types of programs, they don't have anything decided, and it just seems like they're all jumbled up. We didn't really want to exclude anything, so instead we added this filter, and where you can just kind of limit the previous enrollment number. So, you know, if you just want to say, oh, well, you know, it really doesn't matter to me if it's like, you know, less than 15 students or less than like 15 enrolled or anything like that. So yeah, we made it that way so people can see that information. And then of course in the tooltip, you can see like the previous number, and you can see like the current enrollment number, at least for the census. So, and then it just shows the percent change, so the percent difference. And you can change this one for online or on campus, or you could just view just graduate degrees if you want to, or you can just view if a student is just like a new graduate or continuing that information. So you can kind of play around with the filters here to get the information that you want from this dashboard. And then last we have this view. So this view came about because we just wanted to compare our enrollment to ASU overall. So instead of comparing our enrollment to just separate colleges throughout ASU, we just compared our enrollment for ASU as a whole. So I'm just going to switch this one to spring, so just to see how it looks. So yeah, so we have like CHS in comparison to ASU, and so yeah, that was just like some information that someone was interested in, and they felt like it would be really good to add to our dashboard. So this was like one of the last views we added here. And still here you can kind of just view first year students if you want to for the spring semester, or as a new graduate, or see how our continuing students are doing when it comes to enrollment and things like that. So yeah, okay. Okay, so I kind of gave you all a guess of how it's being used within CHS. So this dashboard is being used. It's really popular. So it's really popular. A lot of people within our departments love the dashboard. They love the information that it's used. So our student success team uses this dashboard to narrow in on specific student groups. So if I go back to the dashboard, so that could just be them using this if they would want to, and then they could just kind of play around with the filter if they want to view that information. So they're looking at the different student groups, like the different admit types for it. So if they just wanted to see first year students, or if they want to see how their continuing students are doing and things like that, it just kind of gives them just like an overview of that information. And then it also allows our executive team to track enrollment. So, when it comes to leadership within a college, it's really important that you track your enrollment just for like budgeting purposes and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're on track for your enrollment. And then also we have our degree coordinators and our program directors, and they can just visualize how their program is doing. So again, that's this view. And you can just kind of see just how your program is doing. If you just want to narrow in on your specific program, or just have an overview of all the programs that you have. So yeah, it just gives them an idea of how that program is doing. So, but yeah. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have when it comes to the dashboard. So, if there's anything that you guys want to see, or anything that you guys have any questions about, we can like talk about those things or anything. So yeah.
So we've got a question from the Jennifer Hornsby wanting to know what the data source is for your dashboard. So be careful with this one.
Okay, so the data source for our dashboard is being pulled in from the data warehouse, and we're using like the snaps tables, things like that, to bring in like so if you look here, okay, so if you look here kind of at the top, it says like the week and things like that and the date, we're bringing that in from like the snapshot table and the specific snapshots. We also just have the data coming in from like the PeopleSoft tables. We have it coming in. I think that's mostly what we're using is like the PeopleSoft table. So I can like pull up our query. So it's just like a custom query that my supervisor and I created. So we have like some with statements here. Like I said, we have like the some PeopleSoft tables. So we have like, of course, the term table. And we have the snapshot table, as I said. So this one is like a snapshot table that's bringing in like the active terms. It's bringing in like our STEM week or S-term week. And things like that. And yeah, it's a lot of like information coming from different places. Of course, we have like the PeopleSoft table with like the information. It's not really like we're pulling in like any specific student information, but to do like our counts and things like that, we're using like the info IDs and things like that. And we're also bringing in like different academic plans. And yeah, that's just mostly where our data source is coming from though. So just like the snap table or like the term table from PeopleSoft and things like that. So yeah.
So Stephen White was also interested in the data source, and just kind of glancing through there, I'm thinking he might be about to bring up a table that they recently developed.
Oh, awesome.
Like this easier. Stephen, you want to chime in on that?
Thanks for queuing that up, Josh. Yeah. So it's really cool that you were able to kind of build this query yourself from scratch. So you're using a lot of the same tables that we used when we built that report builder version that you showed earlier. But of course you have, your own slightly different style in the SQL and stuff. So thanks for showing that.
Yeah.
One of our goals long-term is to create sort of a standardized, enriched version of this data that, working with Jennifer Hornsby's team, that you and other departments would be able to consume so that ideally others won't have to do quite so much work building this SQL from scratch themselves, but be able to just reference that table and have, the plan descriptions and the campus descriptions and all of that stuff already kind of done, and then get right onto the visualizations from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's our end goal.
Yeah, that's super cool. That would be like really helpful. Yeah, it was a lot to kind of build this. And yeah, as you go, you kind of have those different bugs that you have to work out. So, just kind of with the STRUM week. So we didn't want it to go past week 3 or anything like that, or the census date. So, we kind of had to go in and add that information. So this is actually new here. So week 3, because we just wanted to stop there at week 3. So yeah, it was a lot building it, but yeah, it works really good. So yeah, if you guys are building that, that's awesome, because it's a lot.
It really is a lot. I'm sure there are other people as well who have probably had to do this in the past. So I can definitely appreciate how much effort went into just getting the data right before you even start trying to visualize it that way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like the breakdown here. So we have like, because we wanted to bring in the ASU information as well, we had to add that information in. So this is just all of that information just for the ASU portion of it, and then, had to kind of go in and divide both of those between like ASU and CHS, because we wanted to compare the enrollment there. So yeah, it was live. So yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, Jennifer has a question. Are you using the weekly snapshots, or are you also using the daily?
We're doing weekly snapshots, so we update this dashboard weekly, so we don't update it daily or anything like that. We just update it weekly. So right now for spring, we're updating it every Monday. And then for fall, we were doing it every Thursday. So yeah, this is just weekly snapshots. We're not doing it daily or anything like that. So yeah, they were just only interested in weekly. We thought about daily snapshots, but my supervisor thought it would be a bit much, just because it's really hard right now for us to kind of have this on like an automated update through the server. I don't know why, but every time we try to do it, we kind of end up with an error. So if anyone knows any ways to get around that, just let us know. But yeah.
There's definitely some challenges with the Tableau server right now. UTO is currently working on expanding the resources for that, so hopefully it won't last long. But also the work that Stephen and his group are doing, right? They're creating the data for you, so hopefully if the error comes up, they've got to fix it. You don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I really like how you took an enterprise report and just really tailored it to your college's specific needs, right? You're presenting the way they want to see it. And I think like there's just not enough of that maybe, because a lot of the frustration that we get when we do things like surveys of the community, it's more work like this, I think definitely benefits, especially higher level stakeholders, right? The administrators love things like this. It makes their lives so much easier.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we make a lot of reports like this within our college just because we have to tailor it to our needs. So, you know, like we kind of just grasp like outside information and then we take that and we just kind of create it as our own. So just like with the report builder report, kind of that was started off as an Excel report, but I turned it into that report builder report that's just like automatically updated and things like that. And then they just find it like a lot easier to use just because we can access it directly from our analytics site. So anyone that has access to our group just has access to that information and they could just go in and look at it if that's something that they're interested in. So yeah, that's like what a lot of my projects consist around, just kind of making tailor-made reports for CHS. So yeah. Do we have any more questions or anything?
Got some more praises coming in. Yeah, praise. I've maybe got another question. So you said this is very popular within your college. I'm wondering, like, what kind of outreach do you do with different people to publicize this or to get feedback on it?
With my outreach, so first off, I work with, so we only have 2 people in our data analytics team. So it's me and my supervisor, David Sullivan. So yeah, so usually I just kind of work with him and we kind of work together. So I incorporate a lot of his feedback. Of course, there's like our overall supervisor, Michael Land, and she gives us a lot of feedback just because she works really closely with the end users that are going to be using the dashboard or reports. So yeah, she really gives us a lot of feedback because she meets with them and she demos the information and, you know, they kind of come back to us and they tell us what they want. And yeah, we work really hard to give them what they want. So yeah, that's kind of just how it works. So the outreach is just really within our college. Sometimes I'll reach out to others such as like Dixon, just because like I'm used to kind of speaking with him all the time. There was someone else, I can't remember her name, that I used to reach out to a lot, but then she kind of changed departments. So
probably Denise.
I know her name started with a D, but I don't remember.
Probably Denise D'Souza. She used to work over with Dixon. She's in HR now.
Oh yeah, it was someone. I can't remember their name like off the top of my head, but she was really helpful. So yeah, I do like whenever there's a report that's outside of our department. So like with our department, we work with a lot of different things. So we do student data, we do HR for our college. We also do like finance reports and things like that. So it kind of just has like this huge ball of reports that we use. So when it comes to the financial reports, we reach out to a lot of different people outside of our department just to kind of see how they may have created a report that's available on Workday. Just because we do a lot with the finance because I'm a part of like the business solution team. But yeah, so yeah, we reached out to a lot of different people, but when it came to this report, it was just mostly within our college. Those within our college who are going to be using our dashboard, and just what they wanted to see, and the information that would kind of help them. So yeah. Okay.
One sec. Here we go.
Hi, this is Michael Ann. I just wanted to jump in on that question of yours, Josh, because I just want to add a little bit to it. So, Destiny, can you go back to the original visualization? Geez, my mouth's not working this Friday. So this view here is, so I call this the Luann Denny report. Anyone that gets this report in Excel knows that it comes from Luann Denny. And like Destiny said, it goes to only a certain group of people, mainly the student services group, but also to some of the college leadership and whatnot. But strangely enough, like I don't get it, even though analytics falls under my, my duties to oversee. So, I'd always have to reach out to my colleagues and be like, ugh, can you send me the report? And I just got tired of doing that. So I actually asked Destiny, I was like, hey, can you make a dashboard for this and make it more accessible? Because more people will find this useful than actually are on the, distribution list. So she created this, and then, we looked at it and we made sure it tied back to Luann's report. And then I asked her and David I gave them a goal of figuring out other ways to visualize it in various levels of like from a super high summary all the way down to really detailed information, because people always want different things out of the data. And in particular, this view is very numbers heavy. And I was concerned that when people that aren't data people look at this, their eyes start to cross, right? And so wanted an easy way for people to be able to look at it and see what is the story? What is it that we want them to know, just within 3 seconds of looking at the visualization. And that's when she came up with those other views that she showed you, like the undergrad versus grad, admit type. These are things that, people are consistently comparing. And then, like she said, I did demo it to our leadership group, and we only had those first 3 tabs. And it was funny because as I was presenting it, it was kind of going sideways as it can with the executive leadership group, because it kept wanting to know, like, well, who's contributing to that growth, and why is it down so much there? So, and I was like, well, you see, you can do this tool to, you can hover over it and you can see it. And they're like, yeah, okay, that's good. And so I knew that wasn't, going to be good enough for them. So I went back to Destiny and I said, hey, can you make, down to the degree level? We want to be able, they're going to want to see it down to the degree level. So she added that tab. And then I was like, well, they're probably going to want to know how we compared to others. So we added that last one, which was how we compared to ASU. So we just really wanted to provide the flexibility to see it any way they wanted. And like she said, a lot of this feedback came from the leadership group, but also just really the desire was to make this report more accessible to those in our college. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, very helpful context. It's that back and forth and the constant iterative development that really leads to great products, I think. If you put it out there once and you say, this is it, people are going to use it for a week and then that's the end of it. But looks like because you guys are constantly adding to it, that's probably generating a lot of that growth and utilization.
Yes, and I go back to the leadership group regularly and redemo the dashboards to remind them of all these great things that are there for them. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot that we have that, So it is tough because, we build these great things and they do get used, and then they might forget, that we have something specific for them. Something like this does get used pretty regularly as we lead up to the semesters. So I might just have to remind them, like, don't forget, you have this, you can go look at it. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go look at it. So yeah.
Great. I'm curious, Michael Ann. I know it's been kind of a slow growth in the data analyst field at ASU, especially within the colleges. And there are some colleges that still don't have dedicated resources for this type of work. How valuable do you see Desi and David's roles? And would you encourage other departments to make that same type of investment?
1,000%. Yeah, very valuable. It actually started out that I was the analyst, and then as my duties and role grew, I didn't have time to do it anymore. And we showed enough, I think we showed enough value in having a dedicated analyst that when I couldn't do it anymore, that I was able to hire David. And, you know, so our college really does see the value in making data-driven decisions. And that's a lot about what we focus on trying to provide to everyone in our college, and especially our leadership group. So yeah, and in fact, before this, before we had dedicated analysts, and this is probably what happens at a lot of colleges, is a lot of people do a little bit of analytics. So there'll be some people in student success that, you know, can go in and run some reports or some pre-built queries. And maybe some people in the business office, and maybe some people in HR, you know, and everyone's kind of doing little bits and pieces. And what we did was, by having dedicated analysts and somebody to go to, we kind of took that off their plate so that they could refocus on what their main jobs are. And we can then provide them this data, because we also want to make sure that it's accurate, right? And a lot of times if you're not versed in the data, you don't know the intricacies and nuances. So we want to make sure that we're always providing accurate information as well.
All right. So Watts is looking for a data analyst. That'd be nice. I know we have several people from Watts at the conference, so hopefully some of them are in here looking at this, getting some ideas. So we've got some love going out for your tooltips visualizations for sure. That seems to be a hit. I like those as well. It's kind of a newer feature in Tableau that a lot of people might not know about, but it's really cool to see that you've already leveraged them.
Yeah, I really love those because it's like really cool, and yeah, it is like a really new feature. It took me it took me a while to kind of get it to work, but yeah, it's really cool. So yeah.
And I really like, there's so much relative measurement going on here, right? A lot of times dashboards are just, here's what the status is right now, but you've got the year-over-year comparisons or the term-over-term, you've got comparisons to the general ASU population, and that context that's added just makes the information so much more valuable. And I really like that you leverage the parameter feature to allow for that percent change measure, because so many people, it's just, oh, I'll do a new chart for percent change.
Oh,
you don't need
yeah.
to do that. Right,
Dixon? Yeah, you absolutely don't.
You got it. Let's see.
Thanks for calling me out, by the way. Do you mind? I know we have 10 minutes here. Do you mind scrolling up and clicking on that breadcrumb? I just wanted to kind of like show off, or have you show off how awesome your organization of your content is, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Like up on that College of Health Solutions student data. Unless other people have questions about the bits itself or the stuff you made there.
Here?
Yeah, so I guess you don't get the view that I get. Just if you're not a member of this already, they have a really awesome kind of this is how you request access custom message, and then as you're seeing here, when you go through the pages and things, I just really love the way you guys organize all your stuff in the portal.
Oh yeah.
really above and beyond here. And I love that about your group, or all the groups you have in the portal. But like if you go to that student data homepage.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. David created this. I didn't create it, but it's really cool. So yeah.
Yeah, this is for sure one of the groups I like to show off when I'm kind of introducing people to the analytics portal and what you can do, or at least just the landing page. I don't necessarily
Oh, yeah.
want people digging into your group content, but yeah, the fact that you have like a step-by-step document for how you get FERPA verified, it's things like that where you know, adding that little extra guidance. I know our team wants to help out with that as well, but the fact that you guys did that for your group members, I think, is really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, I really like the pages features within the analytics portal, and it's just so underutilized. But this is a really good example of what it can be and how that's helpful. You know, we get a lot of feedback on surveys that we can't find what we're looking for. Like, you guys have addressed that problem by creating intuitive, clear navigation structures as well as that summary information, so they don't have to drill into the reports if they don't want to. It's just there for them.
Yeah, just a lot of our people just aren't like data people, so we kind of have to think outside of just like our minds, because like we're data analysts or data scientists or whatever, and like you kind of have to like separate yourself from it and just think like, oh, if I was like a kindergartner, like what would I need to get where I need to go? So yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to say real quick, this was Michael Ann again. If you can scroll up, Desi. The way that we organized this was that I had asked David to make more prominent the dashboards that are most commonly used and requested. And he took it a step further and created that kind of preview for like the student head count. And then when you click on, and that's, you know, the actual like graph, but if you click on it, it opens up a new tab, and then you can kind of slice and dice it more. But if you go back to the previous tab, Destiny. Yeah, and then you scroll down, then I still wanted people to be able to quickly and easily access information. So we organized it by, you know, kind of like the most frequently requested types of reports, and we do this kind of accordion look here. And this is a format that we use on our college's intranet site as well. So we're trying to be consistent with our design, but then it just helps it not overwhelm people, I think, with their eye. If you have it there, but then you can open and collapse it. So,
yep.
I don't know if someone else that doesn't already have access to our site can show their screen and show what Dixon was trying to point out, because that was another thing that David did, which helps people then know, rather than just getting that you don't have access message. He made it more end user friendly. So go ahead, Josh. Yeah,
can you see it on my screen right now?
Yes.
So this is what Dixon was referring to. If you don't have access to their site, which I don't, this is the messaging that you get. And there's information about how to request access, but also what's in there, right? Because a lot of the sites is, well, here you can request access, but you don't know if you actually want access or need access because you don't know what's in there. You don't know what you need, and until you see it. So this is definitely a really good approach to solving some of those challenges.
Yeah, excellent job. This is, I mean, even our own content, our landing pages don't look that good. So we would love to get to a place where more of our power users, I know it takes time, but now that you see an example, you could, even that accordion thing, like I'm sure you guys would share the code for that if others were interested. So great to see this kind of work being done.
We definitely don't mind helping our colleagues build similar dashboards. Other people have asked for access, and we'll grant access to the site for some time, and we'll share whatever we need, because there's no reason for everybody to recreate the wheel. So you can reach out to me or Destiny or David Sullivan, and happy to help you get along the way.
Dixon, am I sensing like a analytics GitHub repo or something?
Okay, yeah.
I know we're gonna jump into like the summary and stuff afterwards, but I was thinking about just how much more mature we are than when we first launched this 4 years ago, this conference. It's really cool to see that. So yeah, I think that's part of our maturation process is, centralizing some of that code, and then us improving the platform to just make it easier for power users to manage their stuff. But yeah, super impressed with this. I'm really happy with this presentation. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dixon. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for like all of your comments. Like, I'm just looking at the comments, like, thank you. This is like my first time presenting in a data conference, so it means a lot. So thank you.
Well done, and we hope to see more from you in the future.
Awesome, thank you. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Unless someone has anything else that they want to share or talk about. Thank you so much, Josh and Sam and Dixon and Michaelin, and thank you everyone for coming to my presentation, and have a happy Friday.